All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers in tonight's video. Very shocking. The Steelers are planning to start quarterback Russell Wilson on Sunday as he is finally healthy. Expect both quarterbacks to play, but Wilson is expected to play the bulk of the snaps. This from Ian Rappaport this morning. It's crazy. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 4-2. And Justin Fields has done a very, very good job, all things considered. But the more I looked into this and the more I reflected on it, I'm actually very excited about it. The Pittsburgh Steelers have a bye week in 2 weeks from now and a really difficult opponent in the New York Jets. Less than 20 or a little bit over from 24 hours from the time of this recording. Zach Frazier's banged up, the center. The entire offensive line's banged up like they have been the entire season. Russell Wilson led the NFL in sacks taken twice over the last 5 seasons. The Jets have 20 sacks this year, the third most in the NFL. They also have the 5th highest pressure rate at about 40%. So you got the Jets and the Giants next 2 weeks. We're about to see, probably in 3 weeks from now, a clear consensus on who the quarterback should be for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I love Justin Fields. I really do. I'm sure he is one of the coolest, greatest, most genuine guys in that entire Steelers locker room. But at the end of the day, the Pittsburgh Steelers brought in Russ to start Russ. So I want to see it because I'm not trying to finish 10-7 and make the playoffs. I'm not trying to finish 11-6 and make the playoffs. I'm trying to finish 11-6, 12-5, make the playoffs, and win a couple of playoff games here. And folks, the fact is, through 6 games, the Pittsburgh Steelers have scored over 24 twice. And one of them was a loss, and the other one was against the Las Vegas Raiders. So welcome back to the channel. Shout out to BetUS for sponsoring it. More on that in just a minute. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Post a ton of Steelers videos on this channel. If we try and get 100 likes on this video, that would mean the absolute world to me. So I'm a really big Russell Wilson supporter. I'm also conveniently a Justin Fields supporter. But Justin Fields is 25 years old. Russ is about to turn, what, 36 here? I just think it gives them more stability at the quarterback position as far as the passing game is concerned. It's weird, though, because I think this is like just such bad timing. You know, the Russell Wilson injury in general was such bad timing. What Mike Tomlin's risking right now is losing the locker room. But at the end of the day, once again, you're going to know 2 weeks from now who should start the rest of the season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But more importantly to me, we're about to learn, and I'm about to break a statistic to you in the end of this video because we got to talk about the wide receiver room because it's not good. The Steelers wide receiver room is not good. And we're about to figure out if Pittsburgh needs to make a big-time move because they just lost out on Devontae Adams. We got to see if they even should make a move or if it's in-house, if it's Calvin Austin, if it's Van Jefferson, if it was just a change of quarterback. So I know it's weird. You're 4-2. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 4-2 here. And Justin Fields, all things considered, has played really well. I mean, you're 4-2. His completion percentage at 66.3, quarterback rating at 93.9. They're career highs. Justin Fields has thrown for only 5 touchdowns, though, but he has ran for 5. But he's only thrown 1 interception. So once again, it's just a really interesting predicament, and I'm very surprised Mike Tomlin went this route. All right, guys, before we get back into this video here, once again, shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this video. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers sitting here still at plus 375 to win this division. Russell Wilson making his first Steelers start less than 24 hours from the time of this recording. I'm feeling pretty good. I don't know about you guys. Keep in mind, BetUS is offering a 150% bonus on your first deposit and 125% bonus on your next 2, all with the code YouTube150. Let's get back to the video. But that calf injury certainly played a factor into it. Terry Bradshaw and Ben Roethlisberger both said publicly this last week that they should stick with Justin Fields. But, you know, Justin's last 2 games were not the prettiest. And it left the door open for Russell Wilson a little bit. As long as the Steelers in the next couple of weeks here don't, go on like a 3-game losing streak, I do think long term, whether it's going to be Justin as the rest of the year starter or Russell Wilson as the rest of the year starter, I do think it's going to be beneficial. All right. At the end of the day, once again, Justin Fields is still very young, and you could pick him as your franchise QB long term, but we'll deal with that when it comes here. I just haven't seen enough to make me feel comfortable going on the road against the Baltimore Ravens, going on the road even against the New York Jets with that defense, to think that the offensive firepower is going to keep up with some of these teams. I know the Jets is a bad example right there, but you get what I'm saying. The Kansas City Chiefs on the road, Baltimore Ravens on the road. This is what your second half of the schedule kind of looks like. It's really difficult. It's a really difficult division. So I know this is a really weird move, but I am kind of intrigued because I do think Russell Wilson gives them a little bit more stability with the passing game, and I do think that will unlock Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren even more. Once again, I do understand the sack thing. I am a little bit worried to play the Jets. If they lose that game, you really risk losing that locker room, all right? So let's talk about wide receiver help. Mike DeFabio wrote a great article over on The Athletic. George Pickens has 26 catches on the season, right? And I think we all even could agree George Pickens hasn't had a good season thus far, whether it's all the stupid drops, whether it's the lack of blocking, whether it's his body language. George Pickens has not had a good season, but he's got 26 catches. Combined, Calvin Austin, Van Jefferson, Cordell Patterson, Scotty Miller, Brandon Johnson, and Roman Wilson have 26 catches combined as well. Now, keep in mind, they're ripping the 13 personnel usage at like 18%. They run the ball with the second highest frequency at 53% in the entire NFL. So I do like what I've seen from guys like Calvin Austin. I would say, thus far, Scotty Miller, Scotty Miller and Van Jefferson have been huge duds. But I do think Pittsburgh, whether it's Justin or Russ, should make a move for a wide receiver. And there's a bunch of them out there on the open market. I'm going to use Adam Thielen as the first example. He's 34 years old. It's not going to cost an arm and a leg. He just went on the injured reserve a couple of weeks ago with a hamstring injury. But last year, 100 catches, 1,000 yards. It's a good, solid, sturdy veteran, in my opinion. Another one would be DeAndre Hopkins, 32 years old. He's coming off 75 catches for over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdown season. He's very precise route runner. I think he is actually a perfect complementary piece right next to George Pickens. Now, a couple other options Mike DeFabio put down were hope Roman Wilson and Cordell Patterson can provide a spark. Roman in his NFL debut last week played only 5 snaps. And what we've learned from the Pittsburgh Steelers over the last couple of seasons is, typically with wide receiver rookies, they're not like dying to bring him in right away. So Roman Wilson, 1 month from now, could have a game of 5 catches for 72 yards and a touchdown. But at this point in time, we've only seen him play 5 snaps at the NFL level. Cordell is still injured, though. Option 3, get Calvin Austin more involved, which I always agree with. Calvin's coming off a good game, 2 catches, 36 yards. But with that speed and that potential, Calvin Austin, right there in my back pocket. I don't think they should just go with the route of getting Calvin Austin more involved because Van Jefferson and Scotty Miller have not looked the part. And then you have option 4 of wait until next year. And that just spells trouble, in my opinion. It just really does spell trouble as we get further into the season. So looks like Russell Wilson starting tomorrow's game. Once again, I'm kind of intrigued. I'm kind of excited for it. We're either going to learn if he should be the starter for more games or if it's clearly Justin Fields. It's a really difficult matchup with Devontae Adams making his Jets debut. That's it for me. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. Once again, shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this video. Hopefully tomorrow night we got a victory recap for you guys, but give me a score prediction down below. Let me know your thoughts on Russ getting that start, and yeah, we'll see you soon. Peace.